Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about gas, and that's gas for cooking with in the campers, and we're looking at the T7 California. We've done a few videos on this before, but I haven't always had the gas bottle sizes and things like that, so today I've got both gas bottle sizes which you can get. So on here we have got a camping gas 907, this is the size of it. They generally look like this, as in they'll have camping gas and things on it. This is just a different brand, but they're all that size. This is camping gas, this is a 907 bottle, and then this one here is a 904. They do a very, very small one on top of that, but these are the two that you would generally have. And that also includes if you've got a T6 as well. T6 bottles are no different at all in the California. These are what they are. Two different sizes for primarily what we're used to. You'd have this, for example, in something like the ocean, for example, and you could use this in a beach. Now in an ocean you could put either of these two in. Obviously if you put the smaller one you can have a bit more space, it's in there, and the difference between the two is basically how much gas that you've got. So obviously the bigger one makes sense, it's going to last you a lot longer than the shorter one, depending on how much gas you're actually using. So obviously you're cooking on it and that's what you're using your gas supply with. A couple of things to point out with gas bottles as well is, how do you know that they're full? Well, generally speaking, you've got to pick them up and give them a bit of a shake. So this one, for example, at the moment is actually empty. I took this out of my old California, and you can hear you can't hear anything sloshing around in it. So that is actually empty. So I'm going getting a replacement for that quite soon. Where this gas bottle here, I know is pretty much full. Hopefully you might have heard that on the microphone shaking, but I know that's full on that basis, and it's got quite a lot of gas that's in there. So generally speaking, you need to be checking on your gas, obviously, or have a supply somewhere that you can get a new one from. Loads of places do exchange on these type of bottles. Once you've got one, if it runs out, there's always generally somewhere you can swap it to and get a new bottle that's there as well. So, okay, so where does the gas bottle go in a T7? Well, it goes behind this flap here. So we just pull that out. In here, just move that out of the way, and then inside of here we're going to have our regulator, so that controls the gas supply into the vehicle, and then in here we're going to have a valve. Now this valve is going to go on top of our gas bottle. When you remove the caps, it's always worth making sure you've got hold of that. Most places when you do an exchange will want to see that on the gas bottle. I know a few charge you if you don't bring it back with that, and then that just goes simply screws onto the top of there. I tend to find it easier to hold this, just finger tight on the top, that's all okay. And then that obviously needs to go in this gap. There's a bit of a tie there, so just move that apart from there, and then that can drop straight in there. And then your regulator, I find it easier to put this on while it's outside the vehicle, so that just marries up with there and push it on so you know it's on, and then just give this a twist round. There we go, and then that will go on. So as you can see, tightened it all the way up, just finger tight for a moment, and then that you can lift that up and pop that straight inside there. Twist it around, get it the right thing, and then that's when I would generally then now tighten this up. So I'll tighten it up. Now I'm just using the regulator to tighten it up. So what I'm actually doing is I'm moving the regulator up. It's moving around, and I'm just put my finger on it just to keep it pressure. And I know that then that's pretty much tight, that's in there as well, so no one will have any issues in there. And obviously to turn that on, so that's open down, so I would generally open it all the way and then I would turn it back so it's not actually on full open. That's there. And then these obviously then you can just tie that up. On the smaller version obviously that doesn't go all the way around, and then you pop in everything back together. So that's the small version. So again we're going to put our regulator back on our bigger bottle. So as I was saying, the way I tighten these up essentially that's on here is when you move the regulator up, and you see that's still turning, isn't it, that's on there, and then all I do is apply a little bit of pressure with my thumb, put my thumb on it, and then move it back down. It doesn't move again, and then I can move it back up again, and eventually it'll come to the point where that now isn't moving that, and I know at that point then that that is tight. In it goes. It's there, and then we can do the tightening again now. Now we know where it is. go. And obviously this time we can put our strap around. There we go. And then just pop that back in there. And that's sealed that up. If you're wondering why there's like a sealed internal cover, and that's in case you get a leak, and I'll show you that later on, because inside there, if the gas bottle was to leak for some reason, the gas wouldn't come into the cab, it would actually disperse out of the vehicle, and that's why that cap's on there. So if your gas supply is now on at the back, you come to the front here, got a gas isolation valve that's here. This is showing it in the open position. As you can see from here, open. If you want to lock that off and turn it off, that's in the lock position, so then gas will stop and won't flow through to here. And we can see that that works very simply, because to turn the gas on now, I'm going to turn the hob button around to the flame and press the button. And that comes on. Give it a second to warm up before it goes off. And if I turn this off now, that turns off. So we know that it does work and it does stop the gas. So to turn it on again, I'll just quickly show you again. So on the top here, just turn it around to the middle, keeping it down, and then just press the button that's there, and then that will start it. And once it's warmed up, obviously you can turn it up or off. That's its lowest setting that's on there. And we can turn it up so it's on its highest setting that's there, and to turn it off. And once it's off, it's in that lock position unless you push it down again as well. Now, you might be asking, why is it important to leave it on for a second to heat it up? And that's because there is a cut off on one of these as well. So for example, if you've got a big gust of wind that came through and blew it out, that would actually stop the gas then coming through. It wouldn't just keep coming through and coming through and coming through. As with gas hobs, for example, that you have at home, they have the same function on there as well. And they obviously then that stops the gas keeping on coming through. And then you will obviously need to push the button down and relight it if that's the case. Okay, so the flame's on, for example, now it's on really, really low. If I blow this out, it's in there. Now, gas is still coming out at the moment, but in a minute, I'll hear a little click. A little click. That click is basically because that's now gone cold, so it knows there's no flame there. So if I try and light it again now, it won't, because the gas supply has been cut off completely. So you're not having gas filled in here. So to turn that back on again, I would then have to press the button again and press it on. It'll heat back up again, and obviously then it'll keep the flame on. Last couple of pointers reference the gas. Most of the time, obviously, when driving, people always ask me, should we turn it off in the back that's here? I'll be honest, I don't tend to turn it off unless I'm going on a longer journey, then I do turn it off from there. There's certain conditions where you generally must turn it off in the back. Things like, for example, if you're on a ferry, on something like Eurostar, for example, that's on there. If you're going on a train, for example, that's in there as well. I think normally they advise you that you need to turn them off. That's in the back as well. Obviously, if you leave it for a long period of time, you can turn it off as well. That's in the back. If I'm away camping, I tend to leave it on for the time that I'm actually camping. That's there as well, just because I'm not having to keep coming back in and back out of the vehicle to turn it on and off as well from there. Obviously, when you're disconnecting things as well, just make sure you've always got this turned off that's on the top here before you disconnect your regulator from it as well, because obviously you'll get gas from on there as well. And don't ever panic if you can smell gas, because as soon as you release that, there's going to be a bit of gas in the pipe, for example, that's there. You are going to smell gas. Nothing wrong with that. It will disperse as soon as it comes out from there, and we are talking a very, very small amount of gas. Obviously, you'll know if it's not turned off, because you'll start hearing it hiss because it's under pressure in that gas bottle that's there as well, and you'll smell it. So those are the two things: you're going to hear it and you're going to smell it with the gas as well. And obviously you can just turn everything back off again, start again, and just let it disperse from the area. You'd always do it with the boot open, for example, if you were doing this. So obviously then lots of ventilation as you're changing gas bottles. Hope you enjoyed the video today looking at the gas bottle in the T7 California. So this video would apply to you as well if you've got a T6 or a T5, because the system is no different. The gas bottle sizes are no different that's in there as well. As I said, if you have a beach, especially something like a 6.1 for example, you definitely need, this is the size of gas bottle which you need for that vehicle. Personally, I think this is a really, really good size of gas bottle actually, because it's quite small, it's easy to put stuff in, quite handy that's there, you can get those, but these are a lot harder to find, I'll be honest, if you want to do swaps with them as well. Everywhere has pretty much that size of gas bottle. So I hope that all makes sense to you. If you've got any questions or queries or anything, pop them in the comments box below and we'll put them on our next Q&A session, which will be coming up probably in the next 4 to 5 weeks. That's there. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.